Good evening, viewers and listeners of Concerned Citizens Media. Thank you again for coming back. Today is May the 18th, 2023. I have several news updates to share with you in reading and on video. Thank you for coming back. I will start with military updates from Oromo Liberation Army. Uh, as I have been and others media reported, uh, there is intensive military operation in Oromia region. The Ethiopian government is saying is ready for a peace talk, ready for the second round. First round ended without breakthrough, but that is for to get the international community attention to show Ethiopian government is, ready for peace. But in the contrary, the Ethiopian government is waging very intensive operation on Oromia, on Oromo Liberation Army. We have been saying that. Now we have the confirmation from Oromo Liberation Army. I have the English translation of their military update. So I will start with that one. I'll read it very quickly, what they have been doing, what they captured, what they neutralized, and other military activities since the end of the first peace talk in Tanzania. So let me read it very quickly. It says military update number 2023-05-17. Between May 7th and May 17th, 2023, the Oromo Liberation Army, OLA, actively engaged the regime's military forces multiple times throughout Oromia in response to the regime's launch of an all-out offensive against OLA positions. The battles took place in various regions, including East Shore, West Shore, West Arsi, West Hararge, Horoguduru, and Southern Oromia. The zonal military commands of the OLA have reported the following details regarding this confrontation. On May 7th, East Shore Adami Tulu district, our forces engaged with regime fighters advancing on our positions in the district, neutralizing 75 and capturing 4. West Arsi Nagele district, the Hiban Arsi company of the Jal Nadi Gamada brigade undertook an operation against regime military contingent camped at the Abijata soda ash factory, neutralizing 25 regime fighters, seriously injuring 18 and capturing 2 AK rifles. May 8, West Shore, Osole Town, Jaldu district. Engagements resulted in 15 regime fighters neutralized, 29 injured, and 10 captured. Our forces also secured 38 AKMs, 1 PKM, 1 sniper, and 5,000 AK bullets. May 11th, Southern Oromia, at the Takari locality, Liban district, OLA forces neutralized 21 regime fighters, injured 23, and captured several more. West Hararge, Gara Mukhtar locality, Gammachis district. Engagement resulted in 30 regime fighters neutralized, 37 injured, and capture of 5 AKMs and 5 pistols. May 12th, West Hararge, Gara Wajija locality, Mieso district. Our forces neutralized 12 regime fighters and captured 4 AKMs. May 13th, Horro Guduru, Qarre Watiyo locality, Kombolcha district. In the early morning, regime fighters advanced on OLA positions. In response, our forces neutralized 75 regime fighters, injured 126, and captured 35, along with 2 Dishkas, 1 mortar, 8 PKMs. 6 snipers, 65 AKMs, 3,215 bullets, and 28 explosives. West Shoa, Metta Walqixxe district, the Bado, Dachas, Magarsa Berry, and Bakalcha Berry brigades intercepted and halted an advancing contingent of regime fighters supported by mortar fire. This resulted in 94 regime fighters neutralized, 71 injured, and over 50 captured, along with 67 AKMs, 2 PKMs, 2 snipers, 6,800 rounds of ammunition, 27 explosives, 39 pistols, and 66 radios. West Shoa, Gijo Kombe locality, Midakni district. Following the repelling of the regime's offensives in West Shoa, OLA's Obomleti Brigade, Storm Brigade, conducted several operations, neutralizing 14 regime fighters, injuring 20, and capturing 4. West Shoa, Jirma Korpesa locality, Ifata district. Our forces halted and repelled advancing regime fighters from Ambo into Ifata, inflicting several casualties. West Shoa, Hero locality, Ifat district. A convoy of 14 vehicles carrying regime fighters was halted in Kamisa market. In this engagement, our forces neutralized 7 regime fighters and injured 9. May 14. East Shoa, Dirre Jittu locality, Bishoftu town. An operation targeted the 3rd Police headquarters, neutralizing 7 regime fighters, killing 3 intelligence officers, and capturing 10 AKM rifles. West Shoa, Ayana Sanyi Market, Ifat district. Our forces intercepted a convoy of vehicles carrying regime fighters from Ifat town towards Hidab Bay, sandy locality at a place called Ayana Sanyi Market. The action resulted in 13 regime fighters neutralized and 8 injured. May 15, West Shore, Galan Wadasa locality, Ambo district. The OLS Abomboleti Brigade or Storm Brigade stormed and captured the regime's camp in Galan Wadasa after a 3-hour battle. The encounter resulted in 66 regime fighters neutralized and 71 injured. May 17th, Horoguduru, Kombolcha district. After a day of fighting, our forces expelled all regime fighters from this district and the nearby neighboring Dadu district, neutralizing 81 regime fighters, injuring over 100 and freeing over 100 political prisoners from a notorious torture camp. Our forces also captured 3 military vehicles, 65 enemy personnel, 85 AKMs, 2 mortars, 6 PKMs, 12 brain guns, 6 snipers, 8,245 rounds of ammunition, and 62 explosives. Horoguduru, Dadu district. After a day of fighting, our forces expelled all regime fighters from this district and the neighboring Kombolcha district. An operation was undertaken to capture the main military camp in the area, neutralizing 25 regime fighters and capturing 35 AKMs. Summary. The enemy has suffered significant losses, with a total of 681 fighters neutralized and at least an additional 486 injured. Another 115 regime fighters were captured during operations. A substantial catch of enemy weaponry consisting of 343 AK rifles, 18 PKM machine guns, 11 sniper rifles, 2 Dishka heavy machine guns, 5 pistols, and 2 mortars. Additionally, we have acquired approximately 21,315 rounds of various ammunitions as well as several mortar shells. So the OLA also shared several pictures and or images of those captured individuals or government fighters on its website. Also shared the weapons they captured, the surrendered soldiers. If you are interested, you can see those pictures from OLA official website. So that is the update I have on the military confrontation between OLA and the government of Ethiopia in Oromia region. And I don't have independent media outlet to confirm what OLA is saying, but this is what they have been reporting, and I don't have any statement from the government of Ethiopia. They are usually secretive. They don't say it. They have, they don't care about the loss of the people. They don't care about the civilians' days. They don't care about. They have so many people. They don't care. They don't care. If they care, they will not engage. They will not conduct this aggressive military operation after they started the first step in a peace process. So, Ethiopian government should be forced again by international community, United States, European Union, UN, African Union, IGAD, to stop this military, aggressive military operation on OLA and also on Oromos, and be prepared to settle this issue peaceful manner. Thank you. So I'll continue with other reading, but before that, I want to share one ordeal happened about one suspected individual kidnapped in Addis Ababa. And several media reported there is a kidnapping group assigned by the Ethiopian government, by Abiy Ahmed, to target individuals with with opposite view or who are ready to challenge the government. They will kidnap and conduct torture and also take away these individuals and disappear them. So there is a very sophisticated undercover operation. There are group assigned only for this person, for this purpose, and to violate human rights, international human rights law. Anybody can be a suspect unless otherwise proven. So the suspect should be respected, arrested, investigated. If he's guilty, he should be left for the court system. No torture is allowed, no killing is allowed, no torture of that individuals, and no torture of his family allowed at the international system. So the Ethiopian government should know this. I hope they know, but they just carry out because they don't care about the international law. And let's listen to this. I believe this individual is from Amhara ethnicity, targeted by due to his posting on social media or some activities. But these undercover operatives kidnapped him. He is the father of 2 children, and the parents are going from prison to prison looking for him, from jail to jail, from court to court. This is, too much, really. It shouldn't happen to any families. If he's arrested, it should be known where is its location for the family and the lawyers. So let's listen. It's an Amharic, but in general, this is the core point. Let me.
አመሰግናለሁ የኤርሚያስ አባት እንግዲህ ኤርሚያስ በመንግስት ደህንነት ናቸው በተባሉ አካላት ከታፈነ ውሎ አድሯል። ይህን መረጃዎች እያየን ነው። ጥፋትና መቼ ነበር የታሰረው?
ኤርሚያስ በአራት 9ኛ ወር 2015 ነው። ከቤቱ ወደ መርካቶ ለስራ ቃለ መግዛት ነበር የሚሄደው። ከቀኑ 3 ሰዓት ላይ በፓትሮል የነበሩ ወታደሮች ሲቪል እና ፋቲክ የለበሱ የመከላከያና የፖሊስ ወታደሮች ናቸው። ከፓትሮሉ ላይ በፊት ቀድሞ አንዱ መንገድ ዘጋ። መጨረሻ ላይ ከፓትሮሉ ላይ የነበሩት በጎን ተጠግተው ወረዱ። ጠየቁት። ኤርሚያስ አንተነህ? አዎ። ከዛ መታወቂያ ጠይቀው እሱን እንዲ ወደ ውጭ አውጥተው እዛ ፓትሮል ላይ ካወጡት በኋላ ሌላ ሲቪል የለበሰ የሱን መኪና ገብቶ ቁልፉን ተረክቦ ከፊት እየነዳ ከፊትና ከኋላ ፓትሮሉ ተከትሎ እንደወሰዱት ነው ያይን ማኞች ነገሩኝ።
ይሄ ሆኖ እንግዲህ ካራቀናት በፊት ነው
ዛሬ አምስተኛ ቀኑ ነው።
አምስተኛ ቀኑ እስካሁን የደረሰበትንም አላወቃችሁም? እንደው የተሰጣችሁት እንጅም የለም? የት ቦታዎች ሄዳችኋል? እስካሁን
የደረስንበት ፌደራል ፖሊስ ወንጀል ምርመራ የሚል ክፍል አለ ሜክሲኮ እዛ በመጀመሪያ ሄድን የለም አሉን። እንደገና ደግሞ ወደ ምናልባት ወደ ሶስተኛ አሁን ማዕከላዊ በሚባለው ወደዛ ሊሆን ይችላል እዛ አካባቢ ጠይቃችሁ ያሉን። ወደዛ እኛም ጥርጣሬያችን እሱ ነበረ። ወደዛም ሄድን። እዛም ስንጠይቃቸው ወደ ውስጥ እየገቡ ይጠይቃሉ። መልሱ ግን የለም ነው። ተመልሰን አሁንም ምናልባት አሁንም ደግሞ ከጧት ወደ ሰዓት ደግሞ እንሄዳለን። እዛም ፌደራል ፖሊስን ስንጠይቅ በፍጹም በተመሳሳይ ሁኔታ ጧት ወይም እንደ ትናንትናው የጠየቁልን ወደ ውስጥ ገብተው ጠይቀው ተመልሰው የለም ነው የሚሉት። በዚህ ሁኔታ ወደዛ እየተመላለስ መጨረሻ ላይ ተስፋ ስንቆርጥ የአዲስ አበባ ፖሊስ ምርመራ ማነው ወንጀል ምርመራ እንደዚህ መረጃ የሚቀበሉ ሰዎችን አገናኙን። ከዛ እንግዲህ እኛ ልናደርግላችሁ የምንችለው በ10ም ክፍለ ከተማ ፖሊስ ቢሮዎች እዛ የተያዘ ሰው አለ ወይ ብለን እንጠይቅላችኋለን። ያለውን ፊድባክ እየተከታተል መልስ ሲሰጡን ለእናንተ እየተመላለሳችሁ ጠይቁ አሉ። በዚህ መልኩ እስካሁን ድረስ በተለያዩ ፖሊስ ጣቢያዎች በደረሰ መረጃ ኤርሚያስ መኩሪያ የሚባል በእኛ በኩል ያልተመዘገበና ያልታሰረ መሆኑን ነግረውናል ነው የሚሉት። ከዛ በኋላ እንደ ስንቅ አቀባይም እየሆን በየእስር ቤቱ ዝም ብለን ስንቅ እንደሚያቀብል ኤርሚያስ መኩሪያ ጥሩልን እያል በጽህፈት ቤት ወይም በመረጃ በኩል ሳይሆን ቀጥታ ስንቅ እንደሚያቀብል ሰው እየሆን እያስጠራን እስከምንችለው ድረስ በቃ ፖሊስ ጣቢያ 4ኛ ፖሊስ ጣቢያ አዲስ ከተማ ፖሊስ ጣቢያ ጉለሌ ፖሊስ ጣቢያ ዋና ፍሳሽ ፖሊስ ጣቢያ እነዚህን ደግሞ ሳሪስ ፖሊስ ጣቢያ የካ ፖሊስ ጣቢያ እነዚህን ለቢኩራ ፖሊስ ጣቢያ በሚኖርበት አካባቢ በዛም ምናልባት ወደዛ አካባቢ እንደው ሄዶም ከሆነ ብለን እዚህ ሰሚት አካባቢ አትሌቲክ ፌዴሬሽን የሚባል አትሌቲክ መንደር የሚባል አለ። እዛ ነው ተከራይቶ የሚኖረው። እዛም በሚኖርበት አካባቢ ምናልባት ወስደውት ከሆነ ብለን ወደዛም ሄደን አመልክተናልም ጠይቀናልም። ይህንን እያደረግን እስካሁን ድረስ ከትናንት ጀምሮ ደግሞ ወደ ፍርድ ቤቶች ነው የሄድን። ወደ ሜክሲኮ ከፍተኛው
ፍርድ ቤት ካቀረቡት በሚለው
ከየትም ቦታ አቆይተው ምናልባት ዛሬ ፍርድ ቤት ሊያቀርቡ ይችላሉ በሚል እዚህ 3ኛ ፖሊስ ጣቢያ በሚገኘው ፍርድ ቤትና እዚህ ጊዮርጊስ ያለው አራዳ እዛ ሜክሲኮ ከፍተኛ ፍርድ ቤት ማነው ፌደራል ወንጀል ምርመራ ማነው ልደታ ፖሊስ ማነው ፍርድ ቤት እዛም በቤተሰብ እየተከፋፈለ በእስረኞች በሚገቡበት ችሎት እየገባን ማነው ውጪ እየቆምን ምናልባት ከመኪና ሲወርዱ ሲወጡ እስረኞችን ተጠግተን በማየት በቃ ከሰዓትም ጧትም እየሄድን እዛ እየቆምን ነው እስካሁን ድረስ። ትናንትም ዛሬ ይዋል ነው።
እንደው ለሰብአዊ መብት ተቋማት እንደው ይሄን ነገር አቤቱታችኋል እስካሁን?
ያው በተደጋጋሚ ጊዜ ያው ለነሱ እያመለከትን ያለ ነው። ነገ ደግሞ እስኪ በማመልከቻም ቢሆን እዛው ሂደን በአካል እስካሁን ድረስ በስልክ ነው። አሁን በአካል ሂደን በጽሁፍ ለማቅረብ ነው አሁን ደግሞ ነገ ያሰብነው።
ምናልባት ማንኛውም ሰው ለህጉ ያው መቼም የመንግስት የህግ አካላት የተጠረጠረ ሰው ይዞ የመመርመር ለምን ተጠረጠረ ለምን ተያዘ አይባልም። ግን እንደው አድራሻውን ሰውሮ ቤተሰብ እንዲጨነቅ እንደዚህ አድርጎ ማቅረብ ይታያል። አግባብ እንዴት ነው የምታዩት? እንደ ቤተሰብ እሱ እንደ አባት ይታያል።
እኔ የሚመስለኝ ምናልባት መንግስት ከሱ አልፎ ቤተሰቡን ልጆቹን ለመቅጣት ቶርች ለማድረግ እሱ በሚጠረጥበት ሁኔታ ዳግመኛ በቃ በዛች ዙሪያ እንዳይገኝ ለማድረግ በቤተሰቡ ምናልባት ለወደፊትም ቢሆን በቤተሰቡ ላይ ተጽዕኖ እንዲያድርበት ሁኔታዎችን ከቤተሰቡ ግፊት እንዲመጣ በልጁ ላይ ለመፍጠር ይመስለኛል። እንደው ምናልባት ትምህርትም ይሆን ቅጣትም አላውቀውም። ለእኛ አሁን በቁማችን አሁን እኔ የማናገርህ በጣም ሰውነቴ እየተረገፈገፈ ነው። በጣም ዝያለሁ። በቃ በጭንቀትም ሌላም የደም ግፊት አለብኝ፣ የልብ ችግር አለብኝ። ግን እኔ ተጨማሪ ከዛ ያ ምንም አልጎዳኝም። አሁን ያለበት ሁኔታ ግን በጣም ነው ያስጨነቀኝ። ራሴ ቶርች ውስጥ እንዳለው ነው የምቆጥረው እና ምናልባት ይህን ቅጣት ለሱ ብቻ ሳይሆን ለቤተሰቡም እንደታሰበ አድርጌ ነው የምቆጥረው።
ምናልባት ይሄን ለሚሰሙ የመንግስት አካላት ራሱ መንግስትን ጨምሮ እንደሚያስተላልፉልን መልእክት በተለይ ለህዝቡ ልጅውን
ገዢው መንግስት በሰሜን ጎንደር ዞን የሚገኝ
Okay, so that's credit for Voice of Amhara, and this is just ridiculous, really. This is out of the boundary of the Constitution. The Ethiopian Constitution is beautifully written and granted human right for Ethiopian citizens. And this is just the violation of Ethiopian Constitution and the international law. So this should not happen to any family, really. So we should fight against this kind of criminality. And the government kidnapping of citizens and disappearing of the citizens from family and from their lawyers. This is unconstitutional. The Ethiopian government, the Ethiopian Constitution gives 24 hours for any citizens captured to appear in court. So this is against that. And this is, as the father said, by the way, the name, I repeat the name, his name is Ermias Mekrea. And he's the father of 2 children. He's just kidnapped in the capital city, Addis Ababa. While he was trying to get something, they took his car and they took Ermias Mekrea, those undercover operatives. And the whereabouts is not yet known until this reporting. That's a shame. This is unconstitutional, and this is the sign of dictatorship in Ethiopia, and it should not happen to any family. And as you heard, it's in Amharic. They have been going through, everywhere, searching for him, going to different police stations, going to the court. And even faking that they are giving food for their family member in the jail, in the prison, and asking for him. This is really too much. This is too much under Abiy Ahmed, and this should be corrected with the help of the international community, just based on humanity, the law of international humanity, and the United States, UN, European Union. They should not rush to engage with this government. They should investigate the humanity law and also the accountability, to what happened in the Tigray region. So many prisoners in Ethiopia suffering under Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, under the current Ethiopian leadership. So the international community, please slow down. Don't rush to engage with this government, and especially based on the violation of human rights, and capturing, disappearing, torturing, killing, denying family visit, denying medical treatment, and also denying the court of justice. Some of them freed by the court system, but still suffering, especially the Oromo political prisoners. So there's a lot of violation, and this is an addition to those violations, the Mekura, the Ermias Mekura case, and we should all be voice for him and others victims under Abiy Ahmed. Okay, let's continue with other reading, and I have also a video later on. The other one is, as you might already know, Professor Beyene Petros released some intention to change the constitution, Article 39 and other articles, and the flag, the language issue. So usually the constitution change comes through the parliament system and through the discussion with the public. But now the Institute of the Ethiopian Policy Study Institute, which is led by Professor Beyene Petros. This is is a paid individual by Prosperity Party. So they are preparing some kind of change to the constitution. So that's a big issue on OMN and other medias. So why they release this at this time, or maybe for the change of agenda, we don't know. But Professor Beyene is on this task for now. The other update is Oromia region President Shimalis Abdisa also laid a foundation for a new presidential palace in Addis Ababa. So that's another distraction. Do we need a new palace at this time when the people are suffering, when the hunger is very serious, when the war is still waging? So that's a distraction. And the Amhara region also, is also holding very major conference for mid-level and high-level Prosperity Party officials, which started today, I think. And as you know, the Amhara region is a very chaotic region. It's change of leadership often happened, usually by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and by some kind of assassination. It's a very chaotic region, and now is a very tough situation, especially after Abiy Ahmed ordered a law and order operation to disarm Fano militia and Amhara militia. So there is a very divisive situation. The majority supporting armed resistance against the federal government, but some and the Prosperity Party members still want to stick with the Prime Minister agenda. So this is a very tense situation now. Prosperity Party try to indoctrinate, refresh, to provide new approach, new teaching, and refreshment teaching about a Madamar generation, about the importance of prosperity, sticking to with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed instead of fighting him. And those who are supporting Fano militia, Amhara militia, they are resisting, and they want to take power by force. So the leadership in the area is disintegrated in a very tough situation, and those are also unhappy with a peace deal with the Tigray region. So many complicated issues. So they are holding, Prosperity Party is holding a major conference to settle all these diverse catastrophic situation, to line up with Prime Minister agenda. So we'll see, but there are this conference set up to achieve about 5 goals. It says, 1, to provide updates to Prosperity Party leadership and to enhance their deep understanding on the region's overall situation. Second, to establish lasting peace in the region. This is the second objective, by eradicating the causes and threats of instability in the region. So, how to create a lasting peace. To enhance continuity of social and economic redevelopment in the region. This is the third objective. The fourth objective, to provide answers for long-standing public demands or concerns and continue democratic movement in the region. It says, under reform situation, all public concerns or questions must get answers through peaceful and democratic means, not through weapons or through force. The last one, this Amhara Prosperity Party's conference will expand and reach out to all members, leaderships, and the general public at all levels, Kabale level, Warada, district, and zonal. So to update, to enhance the unity and democratic value in the region, and to have a lasting peace, to build confidence, public confidence, and to settle all concerns through diplomatic or discussion and the democratic means. The Prosperity Party is conducting this major conference in the region, and we'll see how it's going to be successful. The people are rejecting Prosperity Party. The majority, I'm saying, not the Prosperity Party. Some still supporting Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, but the majority are against it. They are unhappy about Prosperity Party, unhappy with the Prime Minister. They are resisting, and they are unhappy about disarming Fano and the Amhara militia. They are unhappy about peace deal with the Tigray region. So they are resisting. Instability is still there, but Prosperity Party is trying to manage this. And I reported on citing Amhara media, Voice of Amhara, Dr. Yilik Al-Kafala disappeared for more than a week, but reappeared in this conference. So he's still there, but he's operating maybe from undisclosed location. Credit for this one, Amhara media corporation. Let's continue. This is about prisoners or journalists on hunger strike. Gobaze Sisai, Maskaram Abarra, and others. Prisoners awaiting terrorism charges conduct hunger strikes amidst pending investigation. So you remember when the Prime Minister came to power, what he said? We will not arrest until we concluded our investigation. This is reversed now. They will arrest you and they will conduct investigation on you. How things changed under Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. And all the promises he made during 2018 broken. Now they will conduct arrest, then do the investigation. Reversed. 45 prisoners, including journalists and intellectuals who were imprisoned on suspicion of terrorism in connection with instabilities in the Amhara region, have conducted a 3-day hunger strike. One of their defense lawyers, Solomon Gazahin, told Addis Standard. The lawyer explained that the prisoners went on hunger strike in opposition to the arrest and the persecution of journalists, Amhara intellectuals, and the use and making them suspects of terrorism, adding that the hunger strike started on Monday, 7 May, and ended yesterday. The Ethiopian Joint Security and Intelligence Task Force announced on Sunday, 13 April, that it had arrested 47 suspects who were organized covertly and have allegedly committed terrorism offenses. Among the detainees who were now accused of terrorism-related offenses include journalists who were detained earlier. The task force claimed some of the detainees were apprehended with several individual and group weapons, bombs, and incendiary explosives, as well as satellite communication devices and laptops containing various information, the task force said in a statement. According to Solomon, some of the prisoners, including prominent media personality Maskaram Abarra, appeared in court today, 18 May, and the police asked for an additional 14 days for investigation. No. You should keep your promise. Do the investigation first and arrest and bring them to justice then. Now you arrest them and you asking 14 days, 20 days. No, that's not fair. After hearing the defense lawyer's counter-argument that the additional 14 days is not necessary as the police had gathered enough information, the judge adjourned the session to 10 a.m. tomorrow to give a verdict, which is good. They should do. You cannot play with humanity because you have the power, because you have the gun, or because you have undercover power. You should follow the constitution. Abiy Ahmed and those supporting Abiy Ahmed, please follow the constitution until you are removed by the public vote. The power belongs to the people. When the people want to remove you, they should have that right. And when the power is given to you, please follow the constitution, unless the constitution is changed. And this has been a while, but I will report to you. It says Tigray Interim Administration, TPLF, say Election Board decision unacceptable, legally, politically. Caution it endangers existence of interim render peace process ownerless. Tigray's Interim Regional Administration, IRA, and the Tigray People Liberation Front, TPLF, rejected a decision last week by National Election Board of Ethiopia, NEBE, declining to reinstate TPLF's registration as a political party. The IRA said the decision endangers the existence of the inclusive interim administration in the region and hinders the entire peace process signed between the federal government and the TPLF, which paved ways for the establishment of the interim administration. It also said the decision to stop the existence of the TPLF, the main owner of the peace agreement, is unacceptable by law and in politics. TPLF echoed a similar response and said the decision by the board is unacceptable based on the agreement reached in Pretoria and the law. NEBE's decision last week stated that even though the armed violence that was the reason for the board's decision no longer exists, there are no provisions in the proclamation number 1162/2019 to restore the legal personality to the party. It also rejected TPLF's request to remove its decision denying TPLF's officials legal status and to restore the party's properties, citing lack of provisions in the electoral law. Instead, NEBE said that TPLF can acquire a legal personality and operate as a political party in accordance with Article 66 of Proclamation 1162/2019 and its subsequent provisions when it submits a re-registration request and the board approves the request based on the law as a new party. Okay. Tigray's interim administration, which constitutes Tigrayan forces, civil society, and an opposition party, cautioned that such decision by the board renders the peace agreement meaningless and denies the recognition of the senior leaders of the TPLF who are participating in the inclusive interim administration on behalf of the TPLF. Similarly, the TPLF, one of the oldest political parties in Ethiopia, said the decision will not be accepted by the party, adding that it will discuss it with the relevant stakeholders. NEBE's decision to reject TPLF a legal status of registration came despite a decision by the House of People's Representative, HOPR, to delist the terrorist designation of the TPLF. Removing the terrorist designation of the party was included in the AU-brokered COHA, which stipulated that as part of the implementation of the COHA, the federal government should facilitate the lifting of the terrorist designation of the TPLF by the House of People's Representatives. In their statement released last night, both the IRA and the TPLF have requested the board to correct its decision based on the Pretoria cessation of hostilities agreement between the federal government and the TPLF, and the decision passed by other federal institutions. The agreement has been recognized internationally and nationally. The African Union, IGAD, the United Nations, the European Union, the governments of various countries have given their recognition and support. TPLF further said, agreement is fundamentally centered on peace, human rights, democracy, accountability, and a return to constitutional order. Considering the unnecessary pressure the board's decision puts on the federal government and on the positive efforts of the peace and the cooperation advanced so far, as well as the federal government's responsibility to ensure that legal decisions and agreements are respected by all government institutions and bodies. The board's decision must be re-examined, the TPLF said. It called on the issues that arise to be resolved using the available legal and political options in a straightforward manner that will return the party its pre-war status, to fully implement the Pretoria Agreement, and to strengthen the peace efforts that have been initiated. Credit at this standard. So this should be resolved, unless we might go back to war again. Okay, the last one for today's reading. Ethiopians lawmakers approve bill on extradition, mutual judicial cooperation in criminal matters with Turkiye and the United Arab Emirates. The House of People's Representatives, HOPR, in its 19th regular meeting, approved bills on extradition and cooperation agreement in criminal matters with the government of Turkiye and the United Arab Emirates, UAE. Turkiye is Turkey, as I know. The bill on the extradition of individuals wanted for crimes and the mutual legal cooperation in criminal matters between Ethiopia and the governments of Turkiye and the United Arab Emirates was approved by the Council of Ministers, COM, in January this year, and was subsequently sent to lawmakers for deliberation and approval of both bills into law. The Council said that the draft agreement on the extradition of individuals wanted for crimes created a legal framework for the bilateral cooperation in extradition of persons wanted for crimes and have significant importance to ensure the rule of law. Similarly, it said that the agreement on mutual judicial cooperation in criminal matters creates greater framework and importance to exchange information and evidence, as well as prevent organized and cross-border crimes within the undersigned countries. The HOPR said that approving the bill into law will enable Ethiopia to work together with the government of Turkey and the United Arab Emirates criminal matters. MEP Tsagenet Mengistu, chairwoman of the Standing Committee of Law and Justice Affairs of the Parliament, presented a report and a proposal to lawmakers for a resolution. HOPR further said lawmakers gave different opinions on the bills before voting to approve them. Among concerns raised by MEPs include comments by MEP Desalegn Canne, doctor of the National Movement of Amhara, NAMA party. Desalegn said that bill on the extradition agreement should not be approved as it restricts the rights of citizens and leads to the extradition of different individuals who have different opinions. Other MEPs, however, expressed their views that the proposed bills will help strengthen the country's diplomatic relations with various countries, protect the country's sovereignty, and facilitate the work of the government, HOPR said. Accordingly, Parliament voted the bill proclamation number 1290-2023, 1291-2023, 1292-2023, and proclamation number 1293/2023, which were approved by majority vote with 3 objections and 1 abstention. The Parliament regular meeting was attended by South African Parliament delegations who are in Ethiopia for exchange of experience with the Ethiopian Parliament. Credit again at this standard. I don't know why they needed at this time to sign this extradition and judicial cooperation between Ethiopia and Turkiye and United Arab. Really, this is an urgently needed topic to bring to the parliament. Maybe, I don't know, Turkiye looking for somebody from Ethiopia, or United Arab Emirates looking for its citizens in Ethiopia, so the Ethiopian government can extradite. We don't know what is the urgent needed, why they don't have other economic cooperation, scholarships cooperation, educating Ethiopians, providing scholarships. Why they're talking about extradition? I don't, something is cooking, but I don't know. I don't have any credible thing to say, but just wait and see. Okay, so let us continue with the videos. I'm ready to share with you for today. Okay, let's continue with this video. The first one is President William Ruto speaking at a Pan-African meeting. Let's listen.
Kenya's President William Ruto delivered a keynote speech at a third Pan-African Parliamentarian Summit on climate policy and equity on Wednesday at South Africa. He spoke of the potential Africa has in helping to mitigate climate change.
Africa has 30 to 40% of the world's minerals, including those on which the green energy transition depends. Our continent has the potential to remove over 300 million tons of CO2 per year through nature-based solutions at a carbon price of $50 per ton, could provide in excess of $15 billion in revenue, create more than 85 million jobs, and improve millions of livelihoods.
The summit focused on a number of key areas, including adaptation, renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and climate finance.
We are telling the world we have our assets. We are willing to have a win-win engagement. We have the largest green energy potential, resources.
Mr. Ruto seized the opportunity to urge Sudan's warring generals to stop the fighting and called for a rethink of the African Union to better address the conflicts in the continent.
Find out where that road leads. Take on any...
Hiroshima, Japan. A seaport reduced to ashes during World War II. It was the first ever attack of its kind in armed combat when the US Air Force dropped an atomic bomb on the city. Now, 79 years later, as war rages on in Ukraine, the leaders from the world's richest economies are converging on the city to call for a world without nuclear weapons.
Hiroshima is the most fitting location to express our commitment to peace and promoting nuclear disarmament and preventing non-proliferation of nuclear-related materials.
The threat of nuclear weapons is expected to be front and center when the Hiroshima summit kicks off on Friday, as well as Russia's assault on Ukraine. Japan currently holds the G7 presidency, and for host Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, this weekend's meeting is an opportunity to shine a spotlight on its commitment to the war-torn country. While Japan is the only G7 nation that hasn't sent weapons to Ukraine, Kishida pledged an additional support package of €5 billion and made a surprise trip to Kyiv in March.
Prime Minister Kishida respects the courage and perseverance of the Ukrainian people, President Zelensky's courageous leadership, standing up to defend their homeland and democracy.
The summit comes just over a week after the European Commission announced its 11th round of sanctions on Russia and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky's whirlwind European trip to secure more weapons. This as Russian President Vladimir Putin, who's never signed the UN's prohibition on nuclear weapons treaty, continues to parade his military strength and test hypersonic missile systems.
This will be a very important occasion to be held in Hiroshima to demonstrate G7's strong determination to categorically deny military aggressions, any threats of nuclear weapons, as well as attempts to damage the international order.
The prospect of another nuclear attack was recently crystallized by nearby North Korea's nuclear missile tests. G7 leaders are also girding for the possibility of a renewed conflict in Asia. As Shikata says, there are fears that Beijing might try to seize Taiwan by force, which is a serious concern not only for Japan, but also the international community.
I think this is the last one, maybe.
All right, good afternoon. We'll have the Secretary General make some remarks on the Black Sea Initiative. He unfortunately will not take questions, and then I will brief after that. Sir.
Good afternoon. We have some positive and significant developments. The confirmation by the Russian Federation to continue its participation in the Black Sea Initiative for another 60 days. I welcome this decision. The continuation is good news for the world. Outstanding issues remain, but representatives of Russia, Ukraine, Turkiye, and the United Nations will keep discussing them. I hope we will reach a comprehensive agreement to improve, expand, and extend the initiative, as I proposed in a recent letter to the presidents of the three countries. And I want to convey my appreciation to all those taking part in the negotiations in a spirit of constructive engagement. I once again express my gratitude to President Erdogan and the government of Turkey for their efforts working in permanent coordination with the United Nations. The importance of the Black Sea Initiative and the parallel memorandum of understanding between the UN and the Russian Federation is clear. These agreements matter for global food security. Ukrainian and Russian products feed the world. Under the Black Sea Initiative, more than 10 million tons of food have been exported. Vital food supplies are reaching some of the world's most vulnerable people and places, including 30,000 tons of wheat that just left Ukraine aboard a WFP chartered ship to feed hungry people in Sudan. They matter because we are still in the throes of a record-breaking cost of living crisis. Over the last year, markets have stabilized, volatility has been reduced, and we have seen global food prices fall by 20%. And they matter because they demonstrate that even in the darkest hours, there is always a beacon of hope and an opportunity to find solutions that benefit everyone. Looking ahead, we hope that exports of food and fertilizers, including ammonia, from the Russian Federation and Ukraine will be able to reach global supply chains safely and predictably, as foreseen in both the Black Sea Initiative and the Memorandum of Understanding on Russian food and fertilizer exports, the implementation of which the United Nations is fully committed to support. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so that's the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres' statement on the grain deal and the export of fertilizers from Russia and the Ukraine. Yeah, this thing impacts. It has a global impact. For example, Ethiopian farmers are suffering from high cost of fertilizer and wheat. You see how the world is interconnected. That's why we are sharing all the global news with you. We are interconnected. No country can live by itself. So sending out those fertilizers, those grains to the world market will help Ethiopia and other African countries plus European countries. So the world is interconnected. We are interconnected and we cannot live alone. The war in certain area impact far, far away. So that's why the UN chief appreciates this great deal. Let me conclude today's presentation by saying Ethiopia, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, Prosperity Party, please stop the aggressive war you are waging in Oromia region. You are not winning, you are losing. I know you don't care because your children are not dying. You are sending somebody else's children. And you are not spending from your pocket. You are spending the limited resource of the country. So you may not be impacted. So that's why you just sending those youngsters to the war front. That's why you are spending the country's limited resources, thinking you might be getting upper hand in this military operation. It's not working. Please stop and stick to the peace deal. That is my message. The second one is please respect Ethiopia's constitution and international law. Don't abuse your power. Don't abuse the rights of the civilians, the Ethiopian citizens, by just kidnapping them, disappearing them, and abusing the parents, abusing their lawyers. That's not fair, and that is against the constitution you signed to abide by. And you say you investigate first and arrest after. So please follow that decision and don't abuse the constitution, don't abuse the international law. Please don't torture the family. You can arrest individuals, okay, but please, all the institutions, the prisons, the court, legally established, use them. Don't put individuals in military camp. Don't use the military camp as a prison cell or as a torture center. It has been reported that there is one around Addis Ababa, in the suburb under the control of Oromia region. I don't know why the international community is silent on that one. There's a torture center surrounded by military training. Look like a military training camp, but it's a torture center. So I advise the international communities, the United States, UN, European Union, do not rush to engage with this guy. Hold on, please. He is violating Ethiopian constitution and the international law, and the accountability of the 2-year war is not completed. Yeah, so he is not a credible partner. So please be aware that so many international laws are violated, whether you come to journalists, opposition political parties, and others. That's all I'm going to say for today. I will be back with other news update. Be safe. So long, everyone.